Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the 20 Percenters, where we focus on what matters: health, wealth, relationships, and time. And I got the founder of Can Be Done CBD, Rich Shope, with me today. And we're having a bit of a high school reunion, man. It's amazing how this whole thing comes full circle. Westlake Wolverines, we're both Marines, went on to get our degrees. And now we're playing in this crazy game called Entrepreneurship. Yeah. And Can Be Done is your third or fourth?
Yeah, it's my fourth venture.
Yeah. And, we were just talking off the mic. You came onto my radar via social media right about 2012 as I was getting out of the Marine Corps. And you were playing in the vape space.
Yeah.
And your message way back when was very much the fast life, flashy this, the cars and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah. And then you went dark for a little while. And now your message is truly authentic. It means something. You've, like I told you before, you've come back center.
Right.
And a lot of what we were talking about before we got on the show was your transition away from the Marine Corps and your evolution as an entrepreneur. So much of all of that has just been your deliberate practice in self-discovery.
Yes.
So let's take it all the way back to high school. Why did you join the Marine Corps? Because you graduated. I'm the 9/11 generation.
Yeah.
My military journey was very much because of 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
You graduated boot camp 4 days before.
Yeah.
Right. So why the Marines?
Man, the Marine Corps they're the best. I always wanted to be a part of the best, the most elite groups. My father was a Marine, so I came from a pedigree of military guys. And
was he at the Pentagon? Is that how you guys ended up in
DC? No, he was a grunt man back in Korea. He's
an
old guy. Yeah, man, old head.
Yeah.
But just like his mentality and the things that he taught me, and instilled in me just as a child, like I always had so much respect for.
Yeah.
So, and I loved his mentality. Just like he was a fucking man. He was a brute man, and I loved, like, I really, really honored that about him. So, I think a lot of that was just him and admiring him growing up translated to the character that I was becoming. We were a lot of times conditioned from our environments. Yeah. So seeing the respect that he got from people and things growing up, I was like, yo, and man, I was like that kid running around with a little AK-47, little knife, putting like leaves and shit in my hair, hiding in the woods. Like, I was that very aggressive boy growing up, and I've always played sports.
Sure.
So after getting out, like I was doing soccer and all this stuff, but I was like, man, like there's got to be more to life. Yeah. The MLS ain't gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
Like let's get this Marine Corps thing a shot.
Okay.
I remember checking with my recruiter, and we were like, yo, like this is a now moment. You got to step into this or not. So I was like, yo, like let's just do it and see what happens. We'll commit.
Sure.
And man, I go through boot camp, and then you go through, you're like, oh, I want to be a badass. I want to go to war. I'm going to be it.
Yeah.
And then it happens. You know what I'm saying? The towers get knocked. Like, this shit has never happened before in our time.
Right.
And it shook me at first. It was a real big wake-up call. Like, yo, like, your calling is now.
Right.
So you got to step up. I lost my dad 6 months before my first deployment.
Okay.
So it was like he got to see me graduate boot camp from Paris Island. But, I lost him, and then I had to step into that man role. And then I was the deployment, and that experience alone, just opened my eyes to life and what this world is about.
Yeah.
The dark pits, moments of just like absolute anarchy and things over in countries. Just like, so, those things, I've been able to take with and build my character, like you had said, like this person that I've been trying to discover.
Yeah.
In 2012, I think that person, he was unauthentic.
Yeah.
He was chasing something. He was chasing a character. And also, where we're from in DC, there's a level of like integrity that we hold that when you go to Hollywood, that shit's out the window.
Okay.
So, I lost who I was.
Sure.
And because of my loss of identity from the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
I was trying to rediscover myself, and it just wasn't that time yet. I still needed to. Life had to deal me new cards.
Okay.
And I had to go through those experiences to develop the level of character and the person I wanted to become today.
So after you left active duty, you headed back east.
Yeah.
Right. You graduated from East Carolina.
Yeah.
How'd you end up in Hollywood?
Oh man, it was just a dream. I always wanted to be in LA.
Okay.
Dude, I had an opportunity to buy into a franchise with a friend that became a bad business deal.
Okay.
And it was like an outdoor advertising company.
Okay.
Great business, just not a good fit for myself.
Sure.
So like that gave me the opportunity to move. So I just jumped on it. I'm an entrepreneur. We take risks.
Yeah.
I believe in myself, true and true. So I was like, this is my opportunity. Like, this is the universe saying, like, go. And give it a go. Give it a shot. So, boom, straight into Hollywood. I mean, I've lived right off of Hollywood Boulevard. In the middle of the trap, bro. It was bad. So, I lived at this place called The Bunk, bro. We would throw just rager parties, like, all day, go to 14. So, like, when I moved there and I found out, like, that venture wasn't going to work, I was like, I can't go back home. Okay. I just told my family, bye, I'm coming back, and I'm going to be different.
How much time, how long were you in L.A. before you realized that it was going to be not a failure, but it was going to be a lesson?
That was like, so like through that experience, I became a VIP promoter.
Okay.
And that was my end. My thing about life has been like relationships. And so like, I saw these guys going into these clubs and they're brushing shoulders with people like I want to brush shoulders with, but they're doing it the wrong way. They were like fanboying, and just like not learning about people, treating them like people. And I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care what walk of life. You come in my life with a clean slate. Where you go from there, that meter depends on you. Right. So I've always had a great connection with just anyone. Okay. So I saw my friends with these very affluent people. I'm like, they ain't no better than me. Like let me get in this environment and make some friends and start developing networks. So I used the VIP hosting to get into an environment which no one normally gets into, and then get more intimate with people that normally you can't touch. So doing that became very toxic. I got alcoholism, a lot of sex. Yeah, man, just like not focused. Yeah. Like that, just surviving. I was surviving. I thought I was moving, but I was really just spinning wheels. Okay. Yeah. So doing that, through that time, I was able to meet people, and then that's where the vape thing kind of came out. Okay. Like just met a couple kids. Like we tried to put a venture together. It was like 8 original founders at one point.
That's
it was
a lot of hands in the pie.
Insane, bro. Yeah. It was like two college kids from Arizona State. And then look, these boys, like, yo.
You're the four. All right.
Bro, we like great guys, but like, yo, we gotta be ready to start a business. They the first day they were supposed to show up to the job and like take over, like transition like our store hours, because we opened up a store in Beverly Hills. Okay. They didn't show up, and we're like, guys, like, where you at? And they're like, oh, we're back at school. We're like, what you mean you back at school? We're like, oh, we're back at ASU. And I was like, dog, like, we just started a venture together. So this is my first time at like learning entrepreneurship, and like, so it was like, okay, Rich, you got to be mindful of the people you're working with, who you deal with, who you associate with. Not that these are bad people, but we got to make sure that intention is all, like, we're all vibrating together. Yeah. So, we separated through those partners. 8 became just 4 because like we just were like, yo, it's just too much. You guys don't make sense. And then that business it was just a mess, man. It was a big lesson because I connected with someone who was at the time like a direct business partner. And the guy was just a manipulator, and Marines, bro, we're all about integrity, honor, courage, like having the courage to stand up to your words or whatever. And this guy just wasn't doing it, but because of my loyalty, and he helped me in the VIP hosting and showed me some ropes and shit. Yeah. I was loyal to him. But then I had to check my loyalty into him and then check my own moral grounding and where I was. Sure. So at that time, the business was starting to fail. We were running thin. Like, bro, I was living above my store for a year and a half. Okay. No toilet. The gas station was down the street at the corner. Oh man, I can't remember the street, but we would go there, and I had a gym membership that I would go clean up, shower, all that stuff, man. Year and a half. I slept on a cot or on the ground above my store. It was insane. With John, actually, one of my salesmen. Yeah. So And that's, again, like through life and journeys, you're able to collect certain things and you bring them along with you.
Yeah,
that's a great relationship I've been able to retain
nice.
through that guy. But
yeah,
you know, through that journey, man, like it's just like I was slipping, man.
That's crazy.
I did not like that lifestyle. I knew I wasn't going anywhere with that.
Okay.
So, you know, just I had to check out and go like, this business venture and this person, it's not meant to me.
Right.
Not meant for me at this time.
So did you dissolve it, or?
Yeah. We dissolved the business and just like we, you know, I left so broken because like I've never wanted to take an L. I wasn't used to that. And to submit to some, you know, to like at the time I thought it was like the biggest loss ever. I felt so guilty because I tried so hard. I tried everything to keep the doors open to do what I thought was right. But I was very green, very young in business, and then also young in relationships.
Sure.
Yeah.
To the point, when you come out of an environment like the Marine Corps, where it's do or die for each other, and everything about that culture comes back to life and death.
Yeah.
What is it? How challenging of an adjustment was it for you to 2 ventures in, for those ventures to fall apart because people let you down?
Yeah.
Which isn't something that you would ever, it's something that you go into as a Marine. You know, you just put good faith in people until proven otherwise.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Yeah. It was extremely hard to like swallow at first, but the biggest thing I've always believed in is myself. So I knew as long as I had myself and my moral character, my standing, my guts, my confidence, I was always going to be good.
Okay.
It wore on me for a time. It really did. I mean, like when I left LA, I went backpacking for months. I isolated myself, and I was trying to rediscover myself. Also, I never reconnected with myself after leaving the Marine Corps. Still through this time, through 2012, even into moving almost to 2014.
Okay.
I was still trying to find that character, that person. So like I was transitioning from like what was an unemotional, disconnected, very brute force, alpha male Marine, you know, like to like now businessman, and then still trying to find a way to integrate myself into this society. Yeah. So it was just like, it was so much at one time. My only way, like all I knew was, this is uncomfortable. I need to get away.
Okay.
And then like learn about myself by myself. Like you said, create that moment of just like clarity of silence so that I can think again. And that took time, and that's where I was telling you, like I moved to the beach. I like moved and isolated myself on like Wrightsville Beach. I'm like fishing every day, like illegally fishing, like illegally setting traps to catch crabs and like conch and just like crazy shit. Yeah. I was a nomad, man. I was just living. You know, I didn't know. I just didn't feel like I was fitting in.
Yeah. Well, I find that really interesting, because not just because of the Marine environment, but I think just people in general, regardless of your background or your experience, have trouble being alone. Yeah. Right. And from an institutionalization standpoint, that is Marine culture, where you're never by yourself, that's one thing.
Right.
It's a whole nother deal where we create this virtual universe via social media and stuff like that. So even though, you know, you could be living in this house by yourself, all you gotta do is pull up your phone, and you don't feel alone anymore. Right. And I feel like one of as I've explored these journeys over the last 3.5 years, one of the common themes amongst your stories is, at some point you gain this appreciation for being by yourself. That's not the same as being alone, but you appreciate getting away from the noise so that you can recenter and move the needle towards your true north. Yeah. Right. What was the catalyst for that appreciation for you?
Yeah. I think it's the feeling that I get from the isolation, and then creating that silence again. You know, it's challenging for myself to even do it. Yeah. But when I'm able to step away and then create that, then I know what kind of clarity I can gain from that, and how I can regain my focus and structure. Now I've gotten so much better at it that I listen to myself more, my thoughts, and I'm very accountable to certain words and stuff that I play in my mind, and I write these down. Like, you know, just like accountability was one thing. It's like if I keep hearing it or in the universal conversation, I'll go back and relate to it and write these things down. So what I do now is I don't allow myself to fall so much into that darkness like I did before. And now through these experiences, I've been able to understand more of who I am. And it's through each of those moments that I went and I isolated myself that I was able to, like they say, sometimes you got to lose yourself to discover really who you are.
Totally.
And I've done that like several times now. So like I've been able to take like bits and pieces, like, all right, Rich, like this didn't really work, because like this world, it's so big, man. And like, it's so beautiful. And there's like, it sucks because I hate labeling. I really dislike labels because I feel like we're like limitless beings and there's just so much to us. Once you start to go like, oh, like Michael, you're this, then like you're like, then you assume a certain position,
right?
Sure. And you see it like, just in modern relationships when you're dating, like nowadays, like as soon as you're like a boyfriend, like you start acting a certain way, and it's like, no, man, we should always stay authentic. That's the biggest thing, man. Sure. Is I think you were kind of touching on it in our conversation about 10 minutes ago, and what your approach was to go into market with your business and stuff. And like, I think how you win is be yourself, be authentic. Like you know who that is, and make that person the most important. Set your tone and know what you want. That focus is extremely important. But when you know who you are, man, just be you, and then drive at that. And then the cool thing about that is like, now I know who I am. Now that I know who I can work on and the things that I need to work on too, because we're never going to be perfect. Right. But we're always able to like now own in on what we are and where we want to go with that character. But when you're completely lost, it's scary. That's the most scary part. Right.
So so Beverly Hills Vapor dissolves.
Guess for the
You
isolate.
You're on this nomad tip.
This is where I start reading so many books.
Okay.
Start pounding myself with information.
Sure.
Connecting with various people. Yeah.
So what happens there? What brings you out of that nomad life and to where you are now?
Time.
Okay.
Like I had to let some time go by, and I had to be patient. I had to be patient with myself and
not very much a strong suit for where we come from.
No, not at all. Not in the slightest, man. Not in the slightest. Yeah, it's interesting. Like and patience is like probably one of the biggest virtues, like things that I really honor now.
Okay.
Is because I understand nothing worth anything comes fast. And the more we chase something, it runs away from you.
Sure.
So like you have to have a certain level of focus and confidence, trust that with what your intent is, that it's gonna come to you. Sure. So you just gotta define really what you want.
Yeah.
And then to really own in on that.
Where does Can Be Done show up?
Yeah. Can Be Done is that's me reinventing myself, man.
Okay.
That's me. This is like my discovery of like my true authentic self, and like my now connection with service. Something that I've always loved. I love helping people. I don't care who you are. Man, whether it's like my richest homies moving a bed into their crib to going to a chow hall to feed people. I don't care what it is. I love helping people and giving back. So it can be done. It's an empowerment brand. It's a lifestyle empowerment brand. It's meant to rediscover and connect with your individual person and you as an individual to really own in on that and to create healthy habits. Because what's happened with myself over this time that we're discussing, like these recreations, this rediscovery of person, I've created better habits for myself. Okay. So through each of those times, it's like I'm getting better because I'm fine tuning the character that I am.
Sure.
And it's through repetition.
Okay.
So each time, each lesson, each experience, I take in the best of those experiences and continue to build on that and just lay bricks. Okay. Through that, and this is where I'm at now with my brand, my message, my experience today.
So you talk about the process of self-discovery, being out in Beverly Hills, and now we're sitting here in beautiful Las Vegas, and these are very pro marijuana environments, and part of your process where you've come to enlightenment, if you will, had to do with marijuana. Yeah, right. Totally. So where is the line in the sand with marijuana as an industry and CBD?
Yeah.
right? How do you do this and not get involved in the other?
Yeah. So I really focused on, I experimented with cannabis originally, with marijuana, right?
Right.
And that's really what started pushing my like enlightenment and questioning, because again I was very cold and this and that, right? So that kind of sparked my interest, but the psychoactivity of it, constantly, I didn't see being good for myself.
Okay.
Like just constantly doing that. Smoking weed, right?
Right.
So through experimenting with cannabis, I found CBD.
Okay.
The other agent within it that's it's more
the therapeutic.
Yeah, more supplemental, like a vitamin B12 kind of thing.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So I saw the opportunity into working with CBD and how it made me feel. I didn't mention, but I was like through my dark times, I checked myself into the VA for a minute.
Okay.
And that moment shook me, because they offered me pills. They offered me what I didn't think was really strong, good advice. Yeah. Wasn't going to be good for my person. So I discovered, I had to find out what's going to work for me. Okay. Not just the self-talk, but during that experience, found, the connection with marijuana. Yep. CBD, and then I'm just, anything that I put in my body or anything that I get involved in, I need to learn about it. Sure. So in doing that, I was just I was able to connect with CBD, and then I was helping my friends connect with it, other veterans and stuff, and go, hey man, like you're taking this anxiety pill, why don't you try some CBDs and stuff. And there was a lack of knowledge, lack of transparency. I saw an opportunity in a market that had so much attention, so much spotlight, and such an opportunity to reinvent itself, just as I was reinventing myself. Like cannabis wore a stigma for so long. Yeah. But now things are turning around. We've become a more holistic society. We've become more open to plant life and stuff. So it's a great opportunity to reinvent like what this plant can actually do for us in that connection.
Aside from marijuana, have you played in the plant medicine space?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm like hippie as shit now. Man. Completely different, bro. I was like, I wouldn't really want to take a Tylenol before, but now I'm just like, nah. I'd rather like rub some peppermint on my head or some shit,
Okay.
So it's yeah.
Have you gone the way of psilocybin and ayahuasca and done that whole stuff?
Not ayahuasca. I've done shrooms a couple times. Okay. Now that's fun, man. And I think
like for recreation or for like discovery.
Experimental, man. Yeah. Okay. I'm more. I love myself. I love like being able to work with this vessel. Yeah. And see what's going on up here. And being able to take your mind different places, and within reason, with working with things, I think it's like important. It opens our minds differently, because like I may have not have done it so much as like if I didn't have the experimentation with marijuana, and then what that did for me. Right. So as long as things are like not abused, and we use them appropriately, like it works a different part of our mindset. And I love the person that I've become and becoming because of that that experimental process.
The way I explain it, because my baby brother went away for a little bit behind marijuana and mushrooms and stuff, and back then I used to judge the shit out of him for it, and through my own evolution, my journey leaving the Marine Corps, and then running in circles with high performing individuals that use plant medicine for a higher purpose to maintain and supersede the levels that they play at. It got me curious. Yeah. And then I got invited to a veterans retreat with a shaman, and I mean for a guy like me who's a control freak, it couldn't have been any more perfect. Yeah. So we spent the first 4, 5, 6 hours setting intention, and I'm with 5 other vets, a Navy corpsman, two Rangers, a Marine sniper, and a Delta guy, and all these guys self-medicate heavily, right? I smoked a little weed in high school. Like that's as far as I got. And as we get around to setting intention, Shaman John looks at me and he says, you're going to have a hard time. And I was like, of all these guys, I feel like I'm the least fucked up.
Right.
You know, he's like, no. You know, what I would later discover is even though, you know, these guys may or may not have been dealing with their shit in the most constructive way, they were at least dealing with their shit.
Right.
Right. And here I am on the surface looking like I manage it the best, and I'm not dealing with it at all. And that became kind of the line in the sand there.
Yeah.
And so what I was able to walk away from that experience with was what was really important. And for me, that's my wife and kids. And it really just gave me a perspective of what success actually is, as opposed to, you know, trying to attain these things and pad the bank account with a certain amount of money. You know, it really allowed me to focus on what was truly important. What I walked away from that with was, you know, as long as things are right at home, my business will take care of itself, not the other way around, where going into that experience, I had put myself in this position where I would pin the two against each other. The business isn't doing what I want it to do because I got to be home. I'm not fulfilled in my marriage because I feel like I should be at the fucking gym, right? So being able to get deep with myself and drown out all the noise and deal with it in real time. That's what that experience allowed me to do. Yeah. And you know, so now what I walk away from with, as far as plant medicine is concerned, from a constructive standpoint, you can use it to discover, right? From a destructive standpoint, you can use it to run away.
Yeah, mask. Yeah.
Yeah. And so those are the two mechanisms at play that I see a lot of people who are experimenting in that world, using it for. It's either to level up or to run away and not deal. Yeah. You know, and you have to, going back to that intention piece, you can deliberately use it for either one.
Right. Totally. Yeah. That's it. That's the thing. And like, and I did both, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think at first it was like curiosity, and then it was like abuse. And I was confused.
Okay.
I didn't like, not knowing who you are is scary as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I went through drinking. That was very harmful.
Yeah.
So even as soon as I got out of the Marine Corps, I'm in Virginia. My boys like blazing. I drop them off at the airport, and the place still smelled. We're in an apartment. Place still smells like bud. You know, 20 minutes later, cops banging on my door. I'm there with his brother. Like, they arrest me and shit. This is like 2014 or something. I don't know what it was, but it was like right when I was like losing myself, trying to gain myself, and then like I got in trouble for it. And like it messed me up because I was like, it's like, damn, like finally, like I was trying to stop smoking or trying to stop drinking, and then you know, like now I'm getting in trouble for weed, and I was like, dang, this thing might be the thing that helps me, you know, so I don't fall into a deep depression or whatever. And so like that bit of that confused me, you know, and so and then I started like, after I went through my rehabilitation class, I started using it more. Okay. And then then I found myself, it was like masking, right? So I was like, and then that's where like CBD was like, okay, like, Rich, what are you doing with yourself? You got to hold yourself accountable to like what you're feeling, you know?
Right. Yep.
And I was like, all right, you're slipping up a little bit. You're letting something control you. You're not in control as much anymore. And that's where like that curiosity came. And then CBD, you know, discovering that and then going like, okay, this is more of a supplement that does not have that same psychoactive effect that I can work with other people and still alleviate those conditions that were going on at the time.
Yeah. So you have a couple of initiatives driving this company, one of which is educating the veteran community on the benefits of CBD. Yep. And particularly in the instance of PTSD, right? Talk to me more about that initiative.
Yeah. So Can Be Done, man. It's meant to really create a platform for ourselves, like
Okay.
a platform that we can operate and connect on with other myself. I want to connect with other veterans and create healthy habits for them. You know, if they're feeling uneasy, what have you, you know, try the product, see if it works for you, so that you don't. The medicine I haven't found to be very, you know, very beneficial, helpful, and obviously we see numbers, suicides,
Like
and things.
antidepressants and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah.
That stuff scares the hell out of me, man.
Sure.
And you know, being offered, like when I got offered it, I started doing acupuncture. I tried anything and everything, and dude, that stuff really worked. So like, you know, through that, I was like, man, like I just need to really stay this course and continue this good habit.
Right.
And if this habit works for me, like let me replicate it, introduce it to other people, right?
Sure.
So now we have this great product that can help people, but it's like, all right, like I don't like it just like, it's not just a product to me. We're in a very saturated, this is also business, right? But being in a saturated space, like I thought, like, how do you define your stuff? You got to be distinguished. You got to have like a message. And that's what we did was we defined our intention. Our pure intention is to create a brand that connects with every individual at their level and helps them work within themselves, that they are the true focus.
Yeah.
And to really tap into your person and create that habit, that one habit, even if it is using CBD. And then that habit goes from you now feeling better to walking to running to getting a gym membership. But it's just like, it's about like through my journey, you know, just as I said before, it was like all about me finding just a couple good habits that I can really hold on to in those moments and level with those and continue to build on each one of those. Yeah. Because we can go either which way in life at any moment. Every day, like we have that reset and which way we go. So like, let's create healthy, positive habits. And, you know, our message is, you know, good people, good vibes. And, you know, we express a good attitude. So it's like through learning and these experiences, good people, it's extremely important to like what you're going to create, your inner circles and things. Right. So like every piece of that lives through our brand. Yeah. And we're continually developing a community that believes in the same kind of spirit. Yeah. You know, that's what it's all about. It's just connecting with, like, dude, every single one of us is enough. Right. You know, like we just got to tap into that beast because it's in every single one of us. Yeah. Man.
So what's part of your daily routine now? What keeps you on I won't say the straight and narrow. What keeps you centered? What keeps you grounded?
My dreams. Yeah. My dreams are so big, bro. I don't need an alarm, man. I don't need shit, bro. I wake up every day just fired up because I have something that I'm so connected to that I love. And that passion just drives the shit out of me, man. Yeah. And that makes me not want to sit down. Like I got to be up and moving. I know I got to be up before competition, before other people, right? So that I can get that moment of clarity. Yeah. You know, those hours between 4 and 6 in the morning are beautiful because no one else is awake. So there's no one messing with my shit. That's my moment to create my healthy, centered habits that are going to lead into the rest of my day. Yeah. So like through that, you know, I'm able to center my personal create and center yourself, create strong, healthy personal habits in the morning. First thing, set your day with that and then move into everything else because by 8 o'clock, man, we got so much by waking up that early and stuff. You got so much more accomplished than everybody on the board.
That's awesome.
You know, and just keep with that motivation and momentum.
Yeah. Have you read The Science of Getting Rich?
I have not. No.
By Wallace D. Wattles. In it, he talks about the competitive mindset versus the creative mindset, right? And it sounds like you're devoted to the creative mindset in that basically the analogy I like to use to drive the point home, the difference being when you're in that competitive mindset, you're trying to isolate your piece of the pie and nobody else can get it. Yeah. Right? In the creative mindset, that abundance mentality, right? We all have our piece of the pie, right? But as human beings, right? For when you're devoted to something bigger than yourself, the mission isn't about your piece of the pie. It's about making the entire pie bigger. Yep,
that's it.
Right? So you're able to operate in your lane, do what you do, create, you know, drive the mission of Can Be Done within the parameters of your vision, right? And still create more wealth, more opportunity, more of everything.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not about anybody else that's in the space.
No.
Right. Like we can all grow together.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's like being on a field, man, and like, you know, the gun, you know, gun goes off, the whistle blows, whatever. It's like, it's just you in that moment. You're creating that moment. I'm not focused on anything else outside of my space right now, you know? I don't see anything as competition. I just see opportunity. Yeah. You know, with even other brands and stuff like that, I'm trying to find ways to work together. Sure. Find the right people to work together so we can build this. Because like the like you said, abundance is what we create. It's limitless. Right. It's, you know, so like once you create that, you put that limit on it, then you're capping yourself. Sure. So this is uncapped, man. Right. Like the what we can do with it, and every day. Our partners, and you know, we're making leaps and bounds with connecting with new relationships and things. Right. And man, it's been the biggest blessing because it's been so that part's been so easy because our intention is so strong and sound like it just comes to you. You know, you don't have to chase things. Right. When you know what you want and you speak from that heart center, you get out of your head and you know what your heart wants. It comes to you. Yep. You just at that point have to determine, are you ready for it? And do you got the balls to move on it? You got the guts to take that action. And take that gift and do what you think you can do with it. Right. I think it's really interesting that you premise it that way because it really speaks to what drives change, right? People talk about changing things all the fucking time, right? And it does, it's irregardless of scale, right? When you commit to change, you just do it. Yep. Right? There's no preparatory command. You don't let people know that it's coming. You don't set the stage, right? You just do it. Yep. You just execute, right? And then, you know, people who would once try to inhibit that just fall by the wayside, get out of your way, because you're now living in that truth, and it's so big, you don't have the energy for anything else. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, everything gets out of your way. Like those problems, it's like the Red Sea, it just parts, man. And then like what I've learned is just like, if you really know what you want, you do set that intention and you do utilize your heart and you stay really focused on that, man, you're going to have the most beautiful, genuine life. Yeah. It's when we start to allow the lights to start flashing and turn your head. You turn your head for 1 minute, that's when you're going to get caught. Right. You got to stay with what your intention is. And man, I've done that since I was a child and playing sports. Like what's crazy is I was looking at this phone, I was thinking about it earlier, and I was giving a reference to sports with my boys and stuff. It was like every day after school when I came home, I would come home with the soccer ball and kick it up against the fence. Every day, just scoring goals for myself. Right. I didn't have a phone. I wasn't looking at the competition. I knew that there was this boy down the street named Ramon that everybody was scared of and was a bad. I didn't care about that fool. And the day that the game day came, I was so fine-tuned on my character and my person. Yep. That dude was irrelevant. I was on my game. Right. So, like, we got to do that in life. We just got to stay. Find your true, authentic self. Right. Define your intentions and drive that shit. And just stay on that grind. Don't worry about anything else, because the things that are going to be around you, they're going to be the things that need to be around you and feeding you. You will get your challenges, but believe that when you start to really center your focus, the amount of abundance that dumps on you, it's the things that are meant to be with you through your journey, and that'll feed you, man. Like no other thing. I feel so extremely blessed with where I'm at. Yeah. Compared to that 2012 Rich of being so lost. Well, it just speaks to your willingness to evolve and change and progress. Yeah. Because so many of those lessons you've learned could have been the nail in your coffin. Totally. You know, all right, maybe this shit ain't for me. Right. I'm going to go do the 9 to 5 thing or whatever. I mean, with the skill set you have
just by your military occupational specialty as a grunt of Marines, it would have been very easy for you to just jump back into life and go back to contracting. I know a lot of cats that do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They get out, they try something big, you know, they fall on their ass, and they're like, oh, no, not in the cards. I'm gonna go back and do this thing, right? And there's something. I just read this little excerpt about people that are successful, and what makes people successful is their willingness to push through the storm, and they're of the mindset, they're solution oriented, right? Yeah. They spend way more time trying to figure shit out that they eventually become successful, right? As opposed to getting lost in the problem and just standing still.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you got to keep
and failing anyway, right? So you go back to 2012 Rich, 2008 Rich. This didn't work, that didn't work. Lesson learned. You go dark, you go find yourself, and now you now have the benefit of perspective,
yes,
and appreciation,
so
right? That didn't exist before, right? But all throughout the common denominator above and beyond these individual scenarios is, I'm gonna figure this shit out. Yeah. I'm gonna figure this shit out. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try again. And here you are with this beautiful thing called Can Be Done. And well done on the branding, by the way.
Thank you, brother. I got to give it to our creative artists. We have a great creative. I can't take all the credit for that, but man, yeah.
We haven't dove into the meaning of it all, but I love what looks like, obviously the CBD is in there, it can be done, got it, but you have the kind of that infinity thing going on in there.
That's it. We're limitless, man. We're infinite beings, and can be done. Everything can be done, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that mentality again. Like when you throw on some Nikes. I remember when we were kids, you put on some J's. Right. You become a different spirit. My mom made me rock some Chucks one time. Bro, it was the best basketball game I've ever had in my life, and it was because she chewed my ass because I wanted the J's so bad. She spent the $130, and she's like, "You're not gonna wear those. You can't have them unless you wear the Chucks. So I'm gonna show you that it ain't the shoes." I was like, damn. She put it on me, bro. It was the biggest game I ever had with the Chucks. But when you put I love branding. I love what a brand can do. Like, it speak through you. That's what I want Can Be Done to do with our clients, our customers, our users, anyone that connects with that brand. Yeah. I want them to have a Can Be Done attitude. Yeah. Anything can be done with the right mindset, with their mindset. Yeah. And like, that's all we want to do is just continue to remind you as a person that you're enough. Because like, that's all it is like discovering you. Yeah. When you can get that, get rid of the noise, find a way to isolate, be comfortable with yourself, and own in and love that person. Sure. Man, you're going to discover things that you never even thought you could before. That's awesome, man. And then you can create. Then you become a creator. Then once you master yourself, we're always working. Right. But like once you have like control, let's say like get some more control of yourself, man. You can self-mastery. Yes, you're now the creator. You use this vessel to project and then these other things for other people. Yeah.
So what's the big mission? Like 20, 30 years down the road, like what's the stamp you want left on the world?
Yeah, I want to leave a legacy, man. I want to just connect with as many people as I can and motivate people. I want to work in the mental health realm. I think that's a topic. It's like such a hot topic right now. And a Marine and having other Marines come out and boastfully talk about their experience and create those other stories, just like myself. If I did not connect with, I might not be here today. I might not feel the way I do, right? Yeah. So like, I want to be able to share those my experiences with other people, so that if they do come across my video one day, they could be like, that might be something that changed me. Yeah. So that's it, man. And I always my goal is to create a firm, a venture capital firm, and help invest in other entrepreneurs, other people that want to do it, just like I want to give back and help the other people that gave me an opportunity to get where I'm at today.
Yeah.
You know, because I'll never forget about those people. And, you know, like, again, like right now we might be on a different path, but we'll circle back, you know, and get those people back on board too.
I want to circle back to the mentality of Marines. We were talking about this offline, and the culture within the Marine Corps, but the very distinguishable difference between my experience as an officer and what I perceive to be the experience of my enlisted Marines. Because I feel like guys like you are that come from the enlisted ranks are the unicorns of our armed services, armed servicemen and women who become civilians again.
Yeah.
In that, as officers, the message that I got in my time of service was, when it's all said and done, you now have the intangibles to do whatever the fuck you want and succeed. The message that I see in my enlisted Marines and the enlisted Marines that I know is very much a crisis of identity, is what I call it. You are a Marine, you are a grunt, and that's the end. Right. And that you've now, by label, put yourself in this box that has its own inherent limitations. What's different about your Marine Corps experience that allows you to do what you do now?
Man, I think just that, the experience, like being battle tested, like going into shit and knowing what you're capable of. That, man.
But there's a lot of guys that, like, there's a lot of Marines that did that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they do. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like we talked about, like Goggins, that cookie jar and stuff. I'm able to tap into it. And like my thing, like even when I was in the Marine Corps, I've always been a person of psychology. So I never gave a fuck about rank, even to the point where I would respect your rank, but I'm gonna find a way to break you down and connect with you as a person, so you can kind of forget about that rank. So like even when I was with my unit, I was always attached to the brass and stuff like that, because I would just keep my cool. You know what I'm saying? I was like young Marine, but I was always fit. I was on my shit. Like I had my shit together enough that I could keep up with the flow at the top. So my goal, I never allowed myself, I never put anyone or anything onto a pedestal. And I've always honored, like, and just took these things that the Marine Corps gave us as like such cool tools that like I could just continue to build myself. So I think it was a little bit like a mentality kind of thing of how I saw that opportunity. Because like as a fucking enlisted grunt that just went through some combat shit, yo, you couldn't knock me off my fucking horse, bro. Like, I was when I came back from my deployment and shit, bro, like there was nothing that was stopping me. And that mentality that still lives through me today. But it was going through the experience and testing myself. Like I think I always tested myself, even in the Marine Corps. If there was like a duty or a school or something, like I always volunteer and always tested myself. So, and when you test yourself, you know what you're capable of. So even when getting out, it wasn't like, Rich, it was like, yo, you could do anything you fucking want. So now figure out who you are, bro. Like now figure out who you are. You left the Marine Corps for a reason. You're turning that chapter, right? You always wanted to be a Marine, but you always wanted to be a business mogul. So like now, like let's go ahead and leave that where it is. But take those like irreplaceable the
intangibles
that we've learned over all that time, and let's take that with us and translate that into this new world, and then utilize those things that built me to build my team. You know, it's like now like my guys, man, when they acting up, push-ups, you know what I'm saying, you get strong, but we got pull-up bars, you know what I'm saying, like there's ways to correct you. And like I joke with these guys and I say shit, but like I know when I say it, like it really resonates with them, and they know like this dude's crazy enough, he'll do any fucking thing he says he's gonna do. You know, even if it is like, you know, 100 dips in a row because I'm pissed off. Like it's like what we talked about, the mentality of like, I will do it. Can be done mentality. So it's just, I think it's a mentality, man. I think you got it or you don't. A lot of Marines, you know, we walk away differently. we become victims of ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt victimization. I felt that before, and that's to me like that's weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like finding a way to kill that person, to kill that feeling off,
Mm-hmm.
so that I don't feel a victim, because we're not, man. We're so blessed.
Sure.
And when I do feel those things, I
Mm-hmm.
start to count my blessings.
Yeah.
And start to reach closer to grab onto gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
and go, man, look at where I'm at. Look at who you are. Just like, even if it's the smallest thing, man.
Right.
But that little bit of gratitude,
Sure.
stuff like that, it goes so far.
I think that's so huge, because as social media becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, like I just found out that the founder of GoDaddy, he's a Marine.
No shit.
Did you know that?
Nah,
right?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, connect with his ass.
So here's the craziest thing. And I think that it does such a massive disservice to us in the veterans community. There's a lot of us out there doing really incredible big things.
Yeah.
Right? And nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
Like, you go on any of those silly links that are just an obnoxious list, celebrities that you didn't know were veterans or whatever. The guy who owns GoDaddy ain't on that list. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a bigger deal than being the host of the fucking Price is Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
no offense to Drew Carey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like that's kind of my point. There's a lot of us doing really big things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that the community at large, the expression of the intangibles that come out of wearing that uniform needs to be out there more.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
People need to know that we served. People need to know that you're not reliant upon opportunities created by somebody else for you.
Right.
Once you're out here in the world.
Right?
You are the master of your own destiny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And being the example of breaking that mold, I think, is the most empowering thing that we can do for veterans coming out.
Yeah.
Right? Because what we, like we were talking about off the mic, about that transition away from the uniform, the loss of identity, the loss of tribe, being the beacon, the example of what can be done when service is over, right? You can continue to serve. You can continue to be productive. You can continue to live in that regimen, right? But those are all choices.
Right.
But if you don't have the exposure, if you haven't seen what is possible, right, then you just stay in the box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I applaud you for everything that you're doing and standing proud as a Marine, as a veteran, and being that beacon for what is possible, and not falling prey to failed ventures and going and doing something else and hiding amongst the masses. That would have been the easy thing to do.
Yeah, totally.
And here we are now, right, with this incredible line, with an incredible mission, and an incredible message that for those of us that are potentially lost, like, oh, well, fuck, if Rich can do it, if Michael can do it, what can I do? Right. And they'll at least ask the question. Yeah. And I think at the very least, that's all we can ask for. Yeah. Right.
That's it. Yeah, man. It's just I want to, in this time, like this moment, like with CBD, like the reason why I see such an opportunity is just like I said, that Nike moment. It's like all the spotlight's on this right now. Yeah. It can be done right. Right. And if this is done the way that we are going to continue to carry this brand, the amount of people that we can connect with on the mental health level, like I see veterans, that's like the close target, right? That's like your machine gun nest. But I see the tree line, and that's the other people. That's the other people that need help in mental health. Yeah. I mean, like my exes, like a couple of my exes, like they've had like mental, like we kind of all struggle with.
We're all kind of
this
fucked
thing.
up, man.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like okay, and that's a great thing to admit.
Sure.
It's like, yo, and let's share this with each other. Let's figure this out together. Because I think that's what we do is like we've separated each other, and now we look at each other like with a blind eye kind of thing. It's like, what's up with that person? We don't know. But when we know, we find out how similar we are and how we can connect and how we can grow.
Yeah.
You know, and then we also start to learn like a lot of those insecurities that we may have had, they're really irrelevant to everyone else. You know, it's really just within yourself. And when you notice that shit, you start to like go, fuck this. Like, I'm going to stop worrying about this. I'm going to be that authentic, true self.
Yeah.
But it comes with that confidence of being with other people, being around other confident people, setting those good habits within ourselves. And then that just translates and continues to snowball. Yeah. So, I mean, it just goes either way, though.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Well, you know, from one Marine to another, from one Wolverine to another, I'm proud of you, man.
Likewise, man.
You know, not only in what you've accomplished as an entrepreneur, but your, more importantly, the salvation of your soul and who you are and maintaining your integrity throughout. Yeah. You know, you've had a hell of a fucking ride, my friend. And but your vision is great. You've got clarity, and you know, you can change the world, man.
I appreciate
it can be done.
That's right, man.
Yeah, man.
And yourself too, brother. Like, you know, my hat's off to you as well. Like, being able to, this is my dream. This has always been part of my dream, is to connect with my other brothers, like other people that we can, you know, to grow with. And, you know, you establishing, you know, your own thing like that motivates me more every day. So like what you had just said, you know, about the gentleman from GoDaddy, like we need to be more present with each other. We need to connect as much as we can with other veterans and stuff to continue to spread and create that strong message that we have. Yeah. And be bold, you know, be bold in our stance. And so, I mean, dude, I appreciate you more than anything, man. You know, coming out, flying out here. Yeah, man. And being able to connect and just share, you know.
It's all good, man.
Another 18 years.
For sure.
18 half our lives.
It's been almost 20, man. Yeah, easily. Yeah. For everybody, the 20 percenters out there listening to this conversation, where can they find and support Rich and Can Be Done? Yeah, go to www.canbedone.com. We have an active blog on there, always updating it with new relevant information. We are an extremely trusted source. We are third-party lab tested. So you can be assured that anything you're going to be using from us is going to be absolutely sound. Nice. You know, we have that Marine mentality, man. We ain't going to put anything out there that we ain't absolutely proud of. Okay. So, right on. Yeah, check us out. Check us out our Instagram, CanBeDone_CBD. You know, please feel free. Veterans, yo, like, please, if you're in a moment, like, DM me, call me, like, DM me. I'll give you my number, whatever. My dream, my goal through this whole thing is to connect and to help and to build. So, like, that's, no veteran will ever be left out stranded, you know, on my watch. That's what's up, man. Cool. And where can they find you personally? So it's rich.shope, SHOPE. That's what's up. Just DM me directly, man, and we'll figure out what that next step is. But I actively speak to other veterans, and working on another organization that we'll talk about at another time. Okay. And then maybe we can bring him on the show too. So but the thing is we have the awareness, we have solutions. We have all the energy to make this and survive this thing together. Yeah. So hell yeah. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you, brother. I love you, man. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Love you, man. Remember, guys, focus on what matters: health, wealth, relationships, and time. We'll see you next week.